Hello. Welcome to bottle 4 of the 8-part series of 8 bottles with Jen and Jeff. Unfortunately, this is the last bottle in Torremolinos until we go to Madrid tomorrow. So, what was today?
Today was a lot of laying around in the sun on the beach, in cafes, and coffee, and a lot of water. They're very stingy on the water here, just so you know. Like, you have to always ask for more and more water because you're just not going to get it. So I recommend bringing a water bottle and filling it up every day because you can't get water for nothing around here. So
We got up at 10 again. No,
we were up earlier. We were up at 9 today and out and wanted to get morning breakfast in because we have been missing breakfast this week because of our late sleeping. So,
So we got up and
I should say my late sleeping because he's up and out running and doing all this other stuff. So,
we got up, went to a cafe, had our first try of the churros and chocolate, which is kind of a breakfast item in Spain. It's kind of popular in Spain. Basically, I would say it's a combination of fried bread and funnel cake. Kind of the texture of funnel cake, kind of the flavor of fried bread.
right.
I would
The
think.
chocolate is like pudding. It's like warm pudding. It's so really good. It's so good.
Like cooked pudding, homemade on the stove. It's almost exactly like that.
Yeah,
That's what their
it's
hot
delicious.
chocolate is, but you dip your churro in it.
It was good. It was good
Good.
breakfast. And of course, the cappuccinos are so good. The cream at the place that we went today was real sweet, so you didn't have to sugar your coffee. But it was delicious.
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice start to the day. So,
And then went to the beach, dropped her off. I went to a CrossFit class at CrossFit Torremolinos, which was good. They were real welcoming, kind of dropped in. The instructor spoke English. There's one other lady there that spoke English, sort of like broken, but CrossFit is kind of a universal language. You know what to do just by looking at the board, and you can figure it out. So it was a good class. I sweated a lot. It was very, very hot inside their building, and I think it was hotter in there than it was outside. It was a little cool outside today.
it was outside was cool, and it actually was kind of like a real misty air, so it was actually kind of cool and wet at the same
Yeah.
time. There was like some mist coming off the Mediterranean today.
I think it was just humid in general today. Like right now, our towels that were just damp from being at the beach now still feel a little damp just from sitting outside because they were supposed to be drying outside. Well, I think it's almost too damp to dry outside. So anyway, so we did the beach thing for quite a while. We were there.
We rented a couple chairs where you can sit under a really cool canopy or whatever, and we're there for all day, really.
Yeah, we left at about 2:30 to go get lunch, which we went and got pizza, which I don't know, just kind of in the mood for pizza, and we noticed a few shops, and they do the stone
The wood
stone
fire.
ovens,
Yeah.
and so we stopped and got pizza, and they're very authentic from like Italy, authentic pizzas. So
Very
they
delicious.
were really good.
It seemed really fresh, like the meat and the pineapple. We had a pineapple meat pizza, and then we had a margarita pizza, and both were very delicious. And they both tasted really fresh to me. So,
Yeah, that's one thing about Italy and the pizza is what sets it apart, I think, is the crust, which is kind of a more thinner bread dough cooked in a hot stone oven so it gets the char on it. And the fresh ingredients, the fresh tomato flavor of the sauce. The sauce isn't seasoned up like it is in the States. It's fresh tomato, maybe some fresh oregano, maybe. I don't even know. It might be just garlic and maybe parsley, or I don't know. Not very many herbs or anything. It's just they rely on the freshness of the tomato and the sweetness of the tomato, and then the fresh mozzarella, and then the fresh toppings. So it's really it's not overdone like a lot of pizza in the States is. So that's why I like it.
it was delicious. And then they were giant, supposed to be like a single serving, but it was they were pretty big platters of pizza. So we
Wow.
actually had some for supper tonight too, instead of having something else. So
You say giant, it's not like an extra large pizza. Think giant like a tombstone size.
tombstone size.
But
for
the
a
crust would
single.
right for a single person. But I think they're slightly bigger than a normal pizza that you would order and as an entree.
Right.
Just slightly bigger than that. Think like one more piece. So it's like two like decent sized pieces of pizza is the normal, and this would be like three. But anyway, so we brought some back and we had it for supper, which turned out to be good because we didn't have to worry about getting something for supper tonight.
One thing that we found out was that whenever you go to a restaurant here, most of the time anyways, you get bread, a basket of bread. And Jeff and I were just like, awesome bread, you know. And then we realized as we were looking at the bill that you do get charged for the bread. So if you do not want that, you do need to let your wait staff know that
Ahead
you're
of time.
not interested in the bread because they do charge you
It's
for it.
€1 per person. So
So,
$2 basically.
Right.
But it is on the bill. So so what did we do after that we came back to the room because we had the pizza left over, so we brought it back to the room and put it in the fridge for supper tonight, and then went back to the beach for another 2-3 hours.
Right. Went swimming. The beach is really nice, and the water today it's very cold for one thing. It's so cold, but it's once you're in it, it's so refreshing and nice. But the waves today in the Mediterranean just were it was real calm. The other day when we were out there, it was really like rough
Right.
seas, I want to say.
It was
So-
like yesterday was the wave pool at Noah's Ark, and today was the lazy river. It's kind of the difference.
Seriously, really funny. Like the waves the other day they were so bad. Not yesterday, 2 days,
2 days
ago.
ago.
They were so hard hitting that I couldn't even stand up. I kept getting knocked over. It was pretty funny. But it was fun.
Yeah.
And then the fun fact of today was that that sharks are the goats
Of the sea.
Of the sea. That's
The
the
goats
fun
of the
fact.
sea.
The goats. I guess they eat everything.
They do.
So the goats of the sea. The fun fact for today from Jeff Numbers. Jeffy's fun fact.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably true. They're probably the goats of the sea. That's what the fishermen call them.
Right.
So, I mean, you're not a fisherman,
You're right. It
So.
seems like weird terminology, but
right? Yeah, well,
irregardless.
but it's not your fault that you don't know that. because you're not a fisherman.
It's true.
You're not a
Neither are you.
No.
Neither are you.
No, but I've seen Jaws
Right, and the Meg. So.
and the Meg. So.
Right. So today, what are we having for wine today?
Solaz, it's also another Verdejo, which we've had 3 out of the 4 bottles were Verdejo now, all from different regions, and they're all actually very different. I would even think they're different wines. This one's similar though to the first night, I believe. It has El Toro on it, a bull, and yeah, it's good.
It's a dry wine.
It's I don't think you would classify any of these as dry. I think you would classify them as semi-dry, because they're not. There is some sweetness to them, but they're not sweet by any means. It's just enough. I think enough sweetness for my taste to not be a totally dry wine. It would be good. It'd be good with fruit.
Right.
Like if you're eating fruit or like a fruit dessert. A regular dessert, it might be a little...
Too sweet?
No, too dry. You might need more sweetness for a dessert, I would think. Normally I have a little bit of sweeter wine with a dessert. But, no, it's a good drinking wine. If you're sitting and drinking it, I wouldn't have any problem drinking a bottle or 2 of this.
It's a good wine. It's refreshing, and I'm loving the white wine in the summer. That's just the way I like it. So it's delicious. It's refreshing, and I would say 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I would say. I think it's ranking the 4 here that we had in Torremolinos. I would rank this number 2. I think the first bottle, no, the second, the third, the one last night that we had at the restaurant, I think was my number 1. This would be my number 2. The first bottle that we reviewed, number 3, and then the red, number 4, which I normally like red wine, but that one I didn't like.
I didn't like that one either. We didn't even finish that one.
No, we left some in the glasses,
which is weird.
Yeah.
That's not normal. So
it was 3 a.m. 3:30 probably.
It was
so
late.
But yeah, anyway, that concludes Torremolinos. The next episode will be from Madrid. Tomorrow night. We have travel tomorrow, only an hour and a half, so it shouldn't be bad. We're all packed up already, so we'll be heading out and
continuing this experience.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Cheers.